The new Descendant, Luna, was just added to the first Descendant. Here's the fastest way that you can get her, other than whipping out your wallet and buying her in the store. You know, remember to support me on Next Creators if you do. But anyways, let's dive into how you can get her, and it's actually really easy. We're looking at 4 different parts, that being the enhanced cells, the stabilizer, the spiral catalyst, and finally the code. So let's start off with how you can get the enhanced cells. First off, you want to get 430 silicon. Sounds a lot, it's not. All you have to do is go to this spot at Echo Swamp and just grab all of these munitions boxes. They're basically right next to each other. Just spam USC if you can't find them. And make sure to do this in hard because you get even more materials doing this and you have to open way less munitions boxes. But anyways, moving on, we need 554 carbon crystals. I walk around this area in Hagios until I have all of the carbon crystals that I want. And now that the easy part is out of the way, we're gonna need to pick up Enzo in order to get our 40 pure energy residues. If you don't have Enzo, you can do this without him, but it will go significantly faster if you do. So I do recommend checking out my Enzo guide on how to pick him up as soon as you can. But anyways, moving on, what I usually do is I start in the Aurora Forest in Fortress. I spam tab while looking for the scan sound to find encrypted vaults. And then if the normal spots in Forest have been cleared out, I normally go through Fallen Arc, as this one is fairly simple and easy to find as well. I just run along these cliffs until I find enough vaults. If I need more code breakers, I usually go to the Sterile Land Anticipated Ambush Point and run this mission a bunch of times on hard until I am stocked up. And I cannot stress hard and Enzo enough, because if you open up these vaults on hard as an Enzo, you can easily get around 13 of the pure energy residue from one precision vault like this one, and like 5 to 7 on a normal vault. So just keep looking around and jumping between these 2 spots until you have enough. After that, we're gonna have to start the real grind to get the enhanced cells blueprint. Let's hop into the shelter on Vespers on normal. You can make this run way faster with Bunny, but for the sake of the video, I figured I'd run it with my newly unlocked Luna. I'm also running it in private, but you should be running it in public to save time on occupation and, of course, killing the enemies much faster. Also, getting used to hitting the beat and killing enemies was a lot harder than I initially thought. Anyways, let's pop this bad boy up. We're gonna take the 017 Mutant AA to normal mode Executioner, which is obviously easy as hell at this point. What about that? We got it in the first run, after a great start. And while we pop this into the research, let's continue with getting the stabilizer. As with any craftable regent, for lack of a better word, first off, we're gonna need some of the crafting materials, starting off with 292 Phlectorite, which we can get from this spot around Shipment Base in White Knight Gulch. There's also 2 munitions boxes right outside the outpost, if you would want to go that route instead, or if you just need more materials. After that, we're gonna need 303 Helion. I normally go to the defense line on Fortress to get my fix, just grab the munition right by the outpost, and then go down this path, and you should usually be golden. If not, keep looking or refresh and go again. Moving on, we're gonna have to whip out Enzo again, since we're gonna need to get the 34 highly concentrated energy residue that you can really only get from encrypted vaults in Hagios. I like to run this path to get as many vaults as possible in the shortest amount of time. Conveniently, this is also in the way of the munitions boxes that we crossed earlier, so if you haven't got it started yet, you can get 2 birds stoned at once you get to this part. And now finally, in order to get the blueprint, we want to get the AM068 Mutant AA. You can get this from the Unknown Laboratory on hard. If you have a pre-made stack, then I really recommend running it privately and re-roll the modifiers to maximize the kill score. You also need to kill all of the mobs and then kill a few of the ads at the end of the Unknown Laboratory, so you can get over 40.5 thousand kill score, which will guarantee that you get 2 amorphous materials at a time. But if you don't have one, you're usually better off running publics over and over again. Once you have cleared the laboratory and have your amorphous material, then it's time to open this bad boy up. Just run Dead Bright on hard. In my case, I'm gonna solo it, but you might want to run publics if that's easier for you. And at the end, you'll get to roll at a 32% chance. And oh wow, we got it on the first try again. This is probably because I already have Luna at this point, because I swear to God. Anyways, once we pop these materials into the research, we can start grinding for the spiral catalyst. Starting off, we're gonna need 571 superfluid, which we can get from munitions boxes in Sterile Land. My favorite spot for this will of course be this spot at Repository, where there are 3 munitions boxes on the pillars right outside of the outpost. If you need more, you can just keep following the wall to the right or re-roll the area to refresh the boxes. Once you have the superfluid, you're gonna need 386 hardener. You can get these from the munitions boxes in Timberfall. I normally go to this spot and then grab the 4 munitions boxes surrounding the outpost, and after that I usually have everything that I need. After that, you're gonna need 46 specialized biometal, and this one is a little bit more time consuming or annoying to get, but it isn't the end of the world, especially thanks to the latest patch. You are best off getting this from any outpost elite monster in Hagios, so what I do is turn my world public on hard and then keep jumping between these two transporters since they are right next to outposts to minimize the amount of time that I need to wait. If I'm lucky, there's no cooldown and there will be nobody on the outpost, or I might even be extra lucky where somebody has started it and I can just kind of come in and get the last hit off and then re-roll the whole thing over and over again. But if you don't feel like doing all that effort, you can just wait for the 1 minute timer and then run it over and over again. Up next, we'll need a Spiral Catalyst blueprint, which is the easiest to get through the Amorphous Material 15 Mutant AA. All things considered, this one is easy to get. You just have to go to this outpost in Vespers, and if you have a Sharon, run it with her, as a successful infiltration gives you 2 rolls for the Amorphous Materials at 20% each. Be prepared that if you are unlucky, this might end up taking you a little while though. Just getting one of these materials took me 4 runs, but it will be worth it at the end. Luckily, I even got 2, so I guess it'll all be worth it, because once you have the materials, you'll want to take them to this nearby reactor in the same area. Just keep in mind that you need 13 organic void shards and 2 polymer void shards per open. If you don't have these, then you're in luck, because I have covered the most optimal farming spots in another video, but just to save you the time, if you have a Fire Descendant, the most optimal grinding spot for organic void shards will be here in June base, and if you want polymer, assuming you have fire and nothing else, the most optimal would be this one in Lost Supply Depot. Just make sure that you do run these fragment missions on hard to get the highest possible payout. After you open the reactor, all you need to do is defeat this pretty easy boss. Just shoot the shield thingies if it gets to the point, or one-shot him if you have enough damage. Once he is defeated, you can roll for the Spiral Catalyst blueprint at 38% chance. Now, I didn't get it in my first 2 rolls, and the perfectionist inside of me forced me to run this again just for the sake of this video. And getting 1 more Amorphous Material took me another 7 runs. Of course, I didn't end up with the blueprint here either, so I had to go and do it again. Upon starting the grind over and over again, I started wondering whether the obsession of making sure I get the item that we're grinding for actually is worth it. But ultimately, I decided that no matter what, I am in it too deep at this point, so I might as well go for the damn blueprint. Another 2 runs later, I got 1 Amorphous Material once again, and I went for my 4th open at a 38% chance, and then I finally got it. Oh, thank fucking God. On its own, getting this specific piece took me about 45 minutes, and I was so sick of the back and forth. Thankfully, it's all in the same area, so you can kind of just run back and forward, and the outpost will be fully refreshed by the time you're done with the reactor, but it was still a pain in the ass. Now, there's only 1 part left for us before we can start researching Luna, so after plugging the Spiral Catalyst into the research station, it is time to grind for the Luna code. For the Luna code, we're gonna want to get the Amorphous Material 094 Mutant AA, which drops from beating the Asylum on hard. The same principle goes here if you have a stack with the modifiers, and if you don't, run publics. This one is a lot harder, or should I say time consuming, than the Unknown Laboratory, and getting 90,360 kill score for the guaranteed double drop isn't worth the time unless you're stacked and modified up. Now, once you have the 094 Mutant AA, it's time to crack it open. To do so, we'll need to run Swampwalker on hard. You could probably solo this one depending on your own build and knowledge, but if you're struggling, you can just run publics. After clearing the Swampwalker, opening the 094 Mutant AA would give you the Luna code at a 32% drop chance. It took me a whopping 7 tries to actually get it. Now, if you have all the pieces, then all you gotta do is wait for the research to finish before you can actually craft your own Luna and enjoy her pretty fun music gameplay. Overall, getting everything must have taken me about 7 hours, but that includes recording and editing this video as we went on. But that was it for me. If this video helped, hit the like and subscribe, and of course support me on Nexon Creators by checking out the link in the description or the comments. Every little bit helps. If you guys want to see 100 tips for the first Descendant, check out the video on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.